how deeply intertwined will they become?
Yeah, I think this is even more expansive than Motorola. With Motorola, it's about them being preloaded on devices, which matters a lot. But with Samsung, it's also integrating into its assistant product, into its browser, and of course, just preloading on Samsung devices. Generally, if you're Google right now, I think you have to be sitting up a little bit straighter right now. There's a big difference between being preloaded and the default service, which is what Google has paid for years and quite expensively. But this is a step in that direction. And given the antitrust scrutiny on Google, I would be a little bit concerned.
I mean, of course, that antitrust discussion of what ultimately might be the policies they have to enact to appease the judge. I mean, that wrapped up on Friday. Yeah. Analysts are deeply concerned about what all of this means for Alphabet. How much does this also depend on Perplexity getting some money from Samsung?
Yeah, I think that's part of the broader tie-up here. So we have previously reported that Perplexity is close to raising about $500 million, like a $14 billion valuation. Samsung could be one of the larger investors in that deal, and that strikes as part of a much larger tie-up between these two companies.
How does that $14 billion stack up? Because we become so numb to these figures because it's so enormous over at OpenAI.
It's one of the largest AI players out there right now, but this is a really competitive environment. Not only are they going up against Google, but going up against OpenAI and others who are moving into real-time search. But being more deeply integrated into devices that millions of people use, that is a really big leg up in that race. So.
And people have loved Perplexity in many ways because it was one of the first that offered you where the information was coming from. But they've had their own copyright issues as well, right?
That's true. I think Perplexity's main thing, though, is that they have great design. Yeah. It's not so much that they've built a better model than OpenAI or Google, but they figure out how to package it in a really compelling way that seems to be drawing fans, not just from consumers, but from the hardware companies. So.
How soon could this all be announced?
As soon as this year, for devices maybe into next year.